project I've been working on for a while, and right now you're seeing the skeletonized ceiling of my shop here, just above my forging area. And I'm going to show you what I've got below that, and that is laying on my anvil right now. And that is this large recurve sword, ginormous knife that is it's a little over, it's got to be a little over 2 foot long. And I've got some zebra wood handles here that I believe we got from Mike Peterson. And I had to split these in a terrible way yesterday, and they are irregular as all can be. And I wanted to show you guys how I finish that out using my 2x72. Now you can do it with rasp, you can do it with sandpaper and all that, but this is something I'm going to do, and maybe this is going to help some people. So before we get started, be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and like and subscribe. Let's get it going. And what I've got a very, very worn 36 on here right now, and this is one of those processes that I usually end up using up my old nasty belts. I'll load them up and throw them out. So I'm going to use, I'm guessing that was a 36 or 40 grit zirconium. You can see it's been used for some use on some steel, on some micarta, all kinds of fun stuff. So here we go. Slight overlap, we'll bring it back a little. And it's very likely we're going to be moving this quite a bit. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take down the profile to be level with the tang essentially. And once I get down to that metal, it's going to have that indicator where it starts throwing some sparks. The belt dresser there real quick. There we go, we're down to steel. I'm working a little bit at a time and just pulling it across, blending that together. Then I've got a reasonably clean tang right there. Next, I'm going to go ahead and just start working this end. I had to do a little bit of patch with some wood filler the other day, so let me see if I have to do any additional repairs. Yeah, there is a little bit of crack in the wood right there. Mostly filled with wood filler. I'll go back and finish that out just a bit. Okay. you can see how much wood I'm actually taking off the profile here. It is just a very large recurve I'm doing here, guys. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. Once I start feeling that resistance and seeing the sparks, that's when I back off just a little bit. As with any tool, when you're doing abrasives or you're doing cutting, make sure you don't take too big of a bite. Robert Scaff, this is actually forged from a section of leaf spring, so it's about a 5160 full quench, and I mean it's sword length. Let me show you guys what I've got so far. So far, I've cleaned up the profile within reason for what I'm doing right now, and so I'm fairly even with the tang. There's a little bit of difference up here, but let me move my foggy glasses. I'm going to go ahead and put I usually do a 10-inch contact. Let's do an 8-inch contact on this. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to even out these sides. As you can see, they're quite hacked hacked up. I'm going to thin that out, and then I'm going to come in here, and these hard edges, I'm going to go ahead and break the hard edges and go from there. Now, what I usually do, break this edge prior to grinding or anything like that, prior to assembly even. I didn't do that this time, so I'm also going to contour that in. All right. So here's what we're going to do. Still going to use that same belt, and I'm just going to switch over. I'm going to switch over to this 8-inch contact. Got a lot of dust in that. Just because with the 8, I'm probably going to have higher RPMs than with the 10. So here we go. I'm going to go ahead and run down the spine real quick. That has pretty well leveled everything out right there. So now I'm going to start evening out my scales here. Now we're going to come into this side now. Getting some cool grain exposed. Clean my belt real quick. I'm back into it. That should open all kinds of mail, including email. Now I'm going to come in and I'm just going to gradually grind that in just a little bit. Tapered that in slightly. Yeah, you can open a whole mailbox with this one. What I'm going to do next, these hard edges at the top, I'm going to go ahead and break those. If you guys haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. We've got more knife builds coming up, knife and sword reviews, as well as some firearm reviews. See how that, just start to turn that into octagonals, basically. Well, thank you, Piggly Wiggly. All right, next we're going to go ahead and break these inner edges. Okay, I'm clearly not done yet, but Sans a skeleton. What state you, or is it Sans? What state are you from? I'm from good old PA. Okay, I'm actually in central Illinois, not the greatest state to be in by any means. I was actually out in Pennsylvania a few years back. I was filming for a show on Discovery Channel called Master of Arms. Did a flintlock axe pistol, looked kind of like that. I know I flew into Allentown, Pennsylvania, but I don't remember exactly where it was filmed at, but not too far away. Yes, I do sell knives. You can find me on Facebook. You can look under Axe on Main, Forge Your Memory. You see me on TV on Forged in Fire, Season 4, Episode 2, Deerhorn Knives. You can see me on Master of Arms, Season 1, Episode 1, the flintlock axe pistol. And, but yes, I do make knives. I do sell knives. We have forging experiences here, and we have axe throwing right over there, just in the other building. All right, so next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to start rounding out the blockiness of this handle. And there we go. A phallic donkey blade. Mexico's at its best. All right, there we go. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to go ahead and start this up again. And that's just how I rough that out. Now I'm going to do the same thing on the other underside. We'll run that belt over just a little bit. And now I'm going to do an underslack grind, so you just kind of round this out. That gives a nice round profile. I'm going to go ahead and do that scrubbing motion on the top now. That makes for a quite comfortable grip. Now, very similar to a very large kukri. I've got a kukri I'm working on over on the side actually. I like making a lot of different kinds of blades. That's from when I was on Forged in Fire. That's from when I was on Master of Arms. This is from when we teach down at Turtle Island Preserve, Eustace Conway from Mountain Men. You guys might watch the History Channel perhaps. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to sand this down with the surface conditioner just a little bit. But before I do, let me show you, somebody said something about a kukri. This is a 80 CRV2 kukri that I'm making for a friend of mine. It's a custom piece. And this one's actually the reason I've got this part of my arm that's healing up. I had it in the vise, cooling, and it wasn't cool yet. And I I slipped a couple other projects I got coming up. These are 1080 high carbon reverse falchions. So the edge is on the inside, and there's a companion knife for it. A horse head would be cool for the pommel on that, yes. Here's another reverse falchion. And right here, if you've watched any of my other videos, there's actually some builds. These are forged out of sections of 50 caliber machine gun barrel. And they also have pressure striker points on them, so yeah. But fun stuff like that. Oh. I got one to stick. Let's get the other to stick. I'm not having any luck with that. There we go. All right, guys, so I'm going to go ahead and start finishing this out. Once more, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. And yes, I do sell knives. I've got a physical store here, and then I also do some online sales. Soon to be coming up with Robbie Bowman. He's got a e-commerce page that's going to be coming available very soon. So what I'm going to do, this is a worn blue Scotch-Brite surface conditioner, and this should work for the wood there. And let's see if I can get it to stay on track. All right. Very, very cool, man. Okay, so I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to start sanding away. Now this is a before. Keep in mind we're going to have an after shot on this before. How's it going? Now you see how much that grain's really popped on that. Now I've got to fix my edge here because I've been chopping into some steel bars with this. Why would I do that? Because I have people come into my store and they're like, hey, well, you're on that TV show where they like tear up your knives. And I'm like, yeah, I was. How good of a knife can you make? Can it? Well, this is not my best knife by any means, or sword. It just happens to be one I made. But here we have a piece of stainless steel. Here we have a large piece of high carbon steel. And I've got to say that it probably does okay and holds up rather decent. Okay, so what I'm going to do next, I'm actually going to add some oil to the handle because this video is about the handle, not about the blade. Cheyenne, how are you feeling? Cheyenne, season 9, episode 5 of Forged in Fire. She's working on some handle material there. Are these a bloodwood?
Mm-hmm.
That may be interesting. She's dyed and stabilized some bloodwood, so we're going to see if the green actually penetrated into that or not. Cheyenne, being that we're on camera, do you want to clean those up a little bit while I'm showing them how to finish out the, how I'm going to finish out my handle here, just doing an oil finish. Once more, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. And first thing I'm going to need is some linseed oil. Everybody's going to be like, dude, bald guy, get out of the way. We're staring at Cheyenne's butt. So, all right, here we go. Got some linseed oil. Views go up at this point, and then I walk back in front of the camera and views go down.
Ouch.
I could. Yeah, I mean, like, swords to me are art pieces, but at the same time, sometimes, I mean, I make a lot of them, so it's also a matter of seeing how that finishes out. Now, performance, a balance between form and function, that's always a struggle, or always a goal. Look how much the color's coming out on that wood. That is just awesome. Go. Let me grab a paper towel or two. So this wood is rather dense, actually. Well, thank you very much. Too much oil and you just end up with kind of a sticky varnish after a bit. Not enough or not enough time, and it just doesn't soak in, doesn't finish out as well. And I use linseed oil a lot on my handles. We also do wax finishes. There's a lot that we do, a lot of different types. But yeah, that's turning out just downright okay. Now, this was just a fun piece I decided to make. Sometimes I get bored and decide to make a whole bunch of Bowie knives or make a whole bunch of swords, hunting knives. I make knives. That's what I do for a living. That's who I am. That's what I do. And sometimes I even get to finish them out. So that cool piece right there, I'm going to clean up that edge for being that I've been cutting metal with it. And it's going to go up for sale very soon. I can give you some specs on the blade. I mean, we're near a 1/4 inch thick here on the spine. We do have a bit of a false edge. So thank you very much, Piggly Wiggly. Let me find, you guys watch Cheyenne grind stuff for a minute. I'm going to find a tape measure and give you guys some ideas about how big this piece really is. Okay, so going overall length, so I'm going to measure from this point on the handle, literally a point on the handle. I mean, it is maybe a 1/16 or 32nd of an inch, over 27 inches. So about 27 inches long. Thickness on the spine is just on the heavy side of a 1/4 inch. And then width, I'm at 2 7/16, and then drop to about 2 3/8, but just a big, awesome chopper, guys. So thank you for watching the video. We're going to get Cheyenne in just a moment because I know, hell, we might as well show what she's got coming up on the handle material here. So what Cheyenne's doing is she's cleaning off the, that is kind of cool. She's cleaning off the excess material, the excess cactus juice, if you will, off of these. You talk about it.
No.
Oh yeah, you have just had dental work, so she's gonna have issues talking about it. But I'll talk about it, and you guys can check this out. Here, I'm gonna turn the camera around. Cheyenne is right here, and go ahead. She's applying some linseed oil. This is a great way to make those colors pop. And the green is kind of a mossy green on that now, which I don't mind. That's got just kind of a nice, nice woodland kind of earth tone to it.
I like it.
Okay, I zoomed in on that. So, come over this way just a little bit. Oh, stay where you're at. Here we go. Oh, there we go. So it did take a little bit of the green, not a whole lot. Now you have been working on some Purple Heart as well. Trying some of these denser woods do not take the color in as much as what some of the others do. That's got a lot of green to it. I forgot I've got this zoomed in.
Oh.
Yeah, that's got a cool look to it. Let's see, Piggly Wiggly. I'm always amazed at how much wood grains pop after linseed oil application. Absolutely, and that's I love doing reveals on blocks and things like that because you get to see what the beauty that's really in that wood. Now we do not let our oily rags lay around. We generally burn those in the forge pretty quick just because you never know. But why don't you grab one of those Purple Hearts over there that you worked on yesterday? You see how that just added it almost looks like an antique red oak. Okay, so what do you have there?
Bloodwood.
Okay, that's bloodwood, and that's just a clear coat. Or which one was this?
Purple.
Okay, so it had some purple added to it. And
Color wheel.
And it's not overly overly prominent.
Mm-mm. Thank you.
Okay, so this is now you used a little bit of purple dye on this, and it didn't take a whole lot, but there is some enhancement to the grain and a little bit to the coloration. This is a dense wood; it's got a lot of oil in it. Now this is purple on Purple Heart, and that is that's noticeable. That really is. And Cheyenne, while you're at it, do you want to just go ahead and do up the rest of the blocks over there? Mm-hmm. So this is one of the things we do here in the shop. We make knives, we make swords, we do forging experiences, we do axe throwing, and Cheyenne's also a bladesmith. She was on Forged in Fire, season 9, episode 5, Blades Gone Wild, and she's been working on some of this material, and I really do like how the Purple Heart gained a little more purple. So you really got a two-tone color on that.
My favorite.
But she's got a little more purple. Excuse me. Purple Heartwood she's doing. And then we've also got some Bacote that she did. Here's a piece of Bacote. Some of my favorite material that she's done so far has been curly maple, which I don't have any complete pieces left. But here's one of, yeah, there we go. Hold on. Tilt it back a little, catch, that's nice. This is some of the, oh, I think she's going to go get some of her curly maple. Over there in the display case. So here's some curly maple. You're catching a lot of white with that finish on there. I will let you know that.
Yeah.
Those look really nice. Just move, just tilt them back and forth like this.
Good.
Yeah. So that is. Let me zoom in if I can. Yeah, just really nice material right there. Oh no, you did fine, Piggly Wiggly. Okay, so anything else you want to show them in the meantime? You doing one more block?
Yeah.
Oh, we gotta do two more because I got the Bacote right here. Very nice. And this is one of my favorite materials to work with is Bacote. And it doesn't look like a whole lot right now, but let's see what happens when you add a little bit of oil to that. Now, of course, you get more grain exposed as you work down into the material. One side still is fairly rough cut. Very cool. Down syndrome Jesus, I think you are maybe you have some issues. All right, so there you go. How many coats do we apply before we say the process is complete? It depends upon the individual section of handle material. Sometimes we can do one, sometimes we do quite a few, maybe 7. And a lot of it depends upon how that piece of material takes oil or just how it reacts in general. But obviously a big difference. And the Cocobolo can be quite active or it can be rather subtle. So, okay. So I want everybody to take a moment to acknowledge this individual on here whose name is Down Syndrome Jesus. Apparently he needs more attention. It'll be okay, little guy. Also, tell your mother to quit calling me, man. I realize I gave it to her hard, but, you know, that happens a lot.
Yeah, Mike, go ahead.
We'll catch you guys later. Have a great one. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. Later.